Growing up in a cult complicates everything. The truth matters. The truth sets us free. You're listening to Out of the Shadows with Mary Murphy. Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 1 of Out of the Shadows with Mary Murphy. I'm your host, Mary. I decided to kick off the podcast with my own letter to the judge who will be sentencing Josh Duggar tomorrow. I'm going to read you that letter now. Dear Honorable Judge Brooks, hello, my name is Mary Murphy. I am a second-generation survivor of an authoritarian religious cult and the cult's home education program. The Duggars have been prominent members in the cult. My family and the Duggars have been close friends for over 3 decades that I can remember. I have known Josh since he was 2.5 to 3 years old. My father assisted in the delivery of 2 of Jim Bob and Michelle's children and worked as Jim Bob's campaign manager when he ran for U.S. Senate in 2002. I spent a lot of time as Michelle's helper when I was a child and she had several babies. I babysat Jim Bob and Michelle's children during campaign events. For years, several of the older Duggar daughters considered me like an older sister. The choices Josh made and the crimes he committed, both recent and 2 decades ago, concerned me greatly, especially within the context of the teachings in the cult regarding authority and also regarding sexual abuse under which Josh Duggar, Anna Duggar, and I grew up. First, the principle of authority in the cult provides a man, whether father or husband, with absolute power over females, wife, children, any females, including adult unmarried females, also known as stay-at-home daughters. This sets up a structure of power and control, without the option for any true accountability or even partnership between the spouses, because the man's decision is law. The Bible verse that talks about obeying God rather than man is used to mean in the cult that the husband, father's decision trumps everything else because to obey the husband or father equals obeying God. The teachings on sexual abuse center on victim blaming. I have heard of instances in the cult where victims had to apologize to the perpetrator for defrauding or tempting the perpetrator, which made the perpetrator of the sexual abuse to sexually abuse the victim. How twisted and disgusting to blame victims, any victim, for the sexual abuse perpetrated against them. Further, the cult also teaches that if a man or husband is unfaithful to his wife, and they prefer the word unfaithful, it's not quite as harsh as adultery, for example, such as through the use of porn or having affairs, the responsibility lands squarely on the wife's shoulders, claiming if she had properly satisfied her husband's sexual needs, then he would not have been tempted to do what he did. These 3 teachings alone hold grave impact for Josh Duggar's case. It is my belief that these teachings, under which we were all raised, will only serve to continue to further embolden Josh in committing crimes upon his release from prison. Each year he is allowed to be in close proximity to the children who call him dad further elevates the danger he poses to them, as well as to the other children and young adults within his acquaintance circle. Approximately 19 years ago, Josh Duggar spent 3 months at the cult compound in Little Rock, following the semi-public revelation in Northwest Arkansas of Josh's sexual abuse of younger girls. I remember when Josh was sent to that cult compound, and when he returned to Northwest Arkansas. His arrogance and pride only grew in his time at the cult compound in Little Rock. I never witnessed him express or exhibit humility or remorse about his crimes 19 years ago or any day since. Josh and I crossed paths at a wedding and then at a Christmas party. And on both occasions, Josh gushed and gushed about his most recent conversation and interaction with my biological father. This is significant because in these interactions, Josh realigned himself with my biological father, reminding me of my position as a black sheep in the cult circle. Josh adored my biological father, the cult leader, serial pedophile and rapist, sex addict, who my sources tell me counseled Josh at some point after the Ashley Madison scandal. Although my bio father died recently, Josh's circle of support will not stand up to protect children and hold him accountable. They have not in the past, and with all due respect, Your Honor, talk is cheap. Their past actions speak much louder than the words with which they plead for you to return Josh to them in a timely manner. I also respectfully ask, Your Honor, for you to consider the innocent victims of the crimes for which Josh was convicted. My heart is absolutely broken for each one. Josh's crimes are not victimless. Each time a child sexual abuse image or file is downloaded or viewed, these precious human beings suffer immensely. I respectfully ask, Your Honor, for the maximum sentence possible for Josh Duggar, to bring some justice for the innocent victims of Josh's crimes. In light of the cult teachings I have seen only serve to embolden Josh through the past 19 years, I also ask you to give the maximum sentence in order to protect the children who called Josh Duggar dad. Josh's own actions speak louder than any words. His lack of remorse is very telling. Thank you for reading my letter. Sincerely, Mary Murphy. And that, my friends, is my letter to the Honorable Judge Brooks regarding Josh Duggar's sentencing tomorrow, May 25th, 2022. Please subscribe, like, and comment here or wherever you may find me. The podcast is also on YouTube under Out of the Shadows with Mary Murphy, and I have a new Insta account named Out of the Shadows with Mary Murphy, no spaces. Check out my new website, marymurphypodcast.com. Thanks so much for listening. I look forward to seeing you next time. Ciao.